Okay, so in business, 34 years, life, I just turned 61 years old. I've just learned to play the delayed gratification game. I learned the hard way. Instant gratification didn't get me anywhere. Having something today doesn't mean it's going to be better than waiting for what happens tomorrow, okay? I learned that. Over a period of time, I've learned that. And for the past probably, 25 years, it's all about delayed gratification. We lived in our first extremely small brick ranch for 11 years. We could have easily moved, but we delayed that because the state of Ohio was supposed to come in and buy our property to increase the route on a bypass, and they were going to tear down our house and put the bypass there. So we delayed gratification of buying a new house or another house for several years, and it paid off. The state of Ohio paid above market value for our home, as is. We didn't have to touch it. They also paid for our move. They also paid for our expenses on living somewhere while we actually built a house. And they gave us some other spiffs and perks along the way. So it just paid off for us. But it was called delayed gratification. And in my company, I've also invested all the profits for many, many years. For the first 26, 27 years in business, I invested 95% of all profits right back into my company. We rarely took a draw. We rarely took out anything because I was more concerned about success of my company, providing stability for my team, and providing my community a company that supports their community and helps children and families. So delayed gratification. I know what my company's worth. I know what the end result looks like. I'm willing to, I'm not guaranteed to live long. I'm not guaranteed to live another day. Nobody is. But I'm willing to take that chance on delayed gratification. I don't need everything today. I don't need to suck my company dry of all the profits today so I can buy a Lambo or a 15,000 square foot home or anything that I actually could do. Okay? Delayed gratification. I don't need to buy things to prove who I am. I know who I am. So I can't predict the future, but I can surely plan for it. And I can create a better future for the outcome, and I can also create a better future self. You know, my future self is going to appreciate what I'm doing today for him tomorrow. Think about that, because most people don't. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be discussing the long game, strategies for lasting success. Okay? So, in business and life, the long game is this. It's a strategy that involves delayed gratification or resisting the temptation of immediate reward in favor of long-term goals. I told you earlier, I'm a long-term guy. I delay gratification. I'm not in it for immediate reward. I'm not in it for instant winnings. I'm just not in it for that. I'm in it for the long haul. And this can lead to improved performance and sustainable success. 34 years, guys. Very few companies are in business 34 years. I'm not bragging, but I'm sharing how I did it. The delayed gratification has definitely helped me get to 34 years and beyond. So, for example, sharing something valuable with a customer, listen to this. We share something valuable with a customer. In heating and air, it could be, it's just your capacitor. It's just this coil needs cleaned. It just needs tuned up. Instead of immediate gratification, you need a new system. Now, do we like to sell new systems? Absolutely. I mean, new systems in heating and air are the bread and butter for the entire company. It's the cash cow. It's king, okay? And sure we do. But let me tell you something. When we share valuable information with a customer that it just needs cleaned or it just needs repaired, you can guarantee in a few years they're going to use us for the replacement of their new system. And we will get that. In over 34 years, that has paid off extremely well. We're number one in our territory. Number one out of about 580 companies. Okay? I don't care what your market is. When you become number one, it's an achievement. It definitely puts you in the 1%, which I strive for in everything I do, in business, personally, financially, physically, goals, everything I do. So here's my question for you guys. I've asked this before, but never in this detail. Would you rather have a penny that doubles every day for 30 days or $1 million cash in your hand right now? You would be surprised how many people say, I'll take the $1 million. Okay? But you're going to look up here on this chart, and it's going to show you what a penny doubled every day for 30 days equals. As you can see, it's a little bit more, 5 times more than $1 million in your hand today. Are you willing to wait 30 days for it? Because originally you weren't. You'd take the $1 million and run. Think about it. Most people are instant gratification. Give me my $1 million today. Give it to me now. I want it now. All right. So let's talk about this. Here's a couple reasons why delaying gratification is so hard for us. Why is it so hard to delay gratification? Because we live in a me world and it's all about me and I want it now. Give it to me now, right? Let's face it. We're all selfish in certain ways. We're born selfish. We can improve on that. We can get better at it, but every one of us are selfish in some way. So I'm going to give you some ideas here how delaying gratification, why it's so hard for us. Number one, immediate rewards trigger stronger emotional responses. Humans are naturally wired to respond to immediate rewards. We want it now. Our brain reward system releases dopamine that generates feelings of pleasure and satisfaction more intensely when rewards are immediate than having to wait for them. See, nobody wants to wait. Even the most patient people in the world hate to wait. You pull into a restaurant and its parking lot's full. What do you say? I didn't know they were going to be this busy. This is going to be a long wait, right? Well, it's a long wait because they're one of the best restaurants around. They got the best food around. All right. Also, immediate reward triggers stronger emotional responses because this makes the allure of immediate gratification very powerful and often hard to resist. It is the bait on the hook, man. It's immediate gratification, and we are going to bite on it. Even though some of us know it's not the best thing for us, we'll still bite on it because it's immediate gratification. And it's hard to resist. Okay? All right, number 2, we have lack of future foresight. It can be very difficult for people to vividly imagine advantages compared to tangible presence of an immediate reward. And I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. I'm going to, there's a lot of people I can talk about, but I know me. And I'm going to share with you the vision that I still have today at 61 years old and why. And I hope it helps you. I'm only sharing this to help you. Remember, I do this for free. So it can just be difficult for people to vividly imagine things. We've lost our imagination because instant gratification causes a weakness in our imagination. Without a clear and compelling vision of the outcomes associated with long-term goals, the motivation to forego immediate pleasure diminishes. So, instant gratification erodes our patience. We become more impatient the more we bite on instant gratification. The more we get used to having everything now, the less patience we have. And when you're accustomed to receiving immediate rewards, your patience wears thin. I just don't know if we've ever thought of it that way before. Instant gratification reduces satisfaction for greater results, greater achievements, and quick superficial rewards dull our senses for deeper and more substantial goals. So, not only does instant gratification cause us to become more impatient, it causes us to have less substantial goals. That's why when I coach companies and I say, what is your goal? What is your vision? And they truly don't have one, or they make it up in 3 seconds after I ask. I mean, it's not substantial. It's not stickable. What is your goal? Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want your business to accomplish for you long term? Never thought of it that way. Think about it that way, because that's what it's there for. I've worked hard. I've worked extremely hard. I've dedicated my life to this business. I've dedicated time, effort, tears to this business. I have poured my heart into this business for 34 years, making it number one for the past 8 years. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be number one. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. If it was easy, 90% of companies wouldn't fail within the first 5 years of being in business. It's not easy. It's extremely hard. So the more instant gratification we have, the less patience we have, the less goals we have, we dull our senses for anything deeper or more because it's instant. I'd rather take the $1 million than wait 30 days for this darn penny to double. Even though it's over $5 million, this penny doubling in 30 days. But most people I want my $1 million now. It's right here in front of you. $1 million, $1 million, stacked 100s right here. I want that now. But in 29 more days, you can have over $5 million. I don't care. I want that right now. Okay. Think about it, guys. By the way, I know someone who has put 6 kids through college driving a bus full-time for a living. Delayed gratification and savvy investing. Delayed gratification and savvy investing. Because most people couldn't put 6 kids through college making $500,000 a year. because it's all about instant gratification and they spend more than they make. Trust me, I've been in thousands of homes over my lifetime of being in a service business. And I've seen very, very expensive homes with little to no furniture, and some I can remember had patio furniture in the dining room because they couldn't afford anything else because it looked good on the outside. And instant gratification, I want that big house even though I can't afford it. Instant gratification. I also know someone who put 3 kids through private school and college cleaning toilets. And he just wrote something the other day that said, I cleaned a lot of toilets to put my kids through school. He ended up selling his commercial cleaning business for several $1 million after owning it and building it for about 25 years. So it definitely paid off, but he cleaned a lot of toilets. I was trying to figure out how I could word that. It just didn't sound as good. I've cleaned a lot of furnaces to put my kids through college. When you say I cleaned a lot of toilets to put my kids through college, I don't know. There's just a little bit more meaning there. So think about that. All right. Now, what I want to talk about is here are 3 ways to improve. So I've told you the weaknesses we have because of delayed gratification and why we have it. Now I want to tell you 3 ways to improve your ability to delay gratification. And number 1, even though this is hard because of instant gratification, we need to set clear long-term goals. Define what you're working towards in the long term and understand the benefit of achieving those goals. See, every goal should have a benefit. When I reach this is what I want to accomplish. When I do this is what I want to accomplish. By keeping your eyes on the prize, focused, you'll be able to hit goals. If you're all about what's in it for me, what can I get out of this? What do I win? What do I get now? You're going to miss out on a lot. You're going to miss out on the 5 times, 10 times, 20 times more what you could have later than you're wanting right now. It's got to matter. It's an investment that you put away and it continues to earn interest, and it's mind-boggling how much it's worth in 20 years, 30 years. Mind-boggling. But again, most people don't even save much besides thinking of the goal of what I get out of my investments or out of my 401k or out of my Roth IRA or whatever it is. They're just not thinking. They're not planning ahead. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help their family. It doesn't help their business. All right, so when you set clear long-term goals, this makes it easier to pass up short-term temptations in favor of long-term rewards. Now, personally, I think about my long-term goals daily. There's not a day goes by where I'm not thinking about something that I'm planning and setting goals on. And I'm 61 years old, and I don't know how much longer I have to live. If God lets me live another 25, 30 years, I'll be extremely thankful, especially with my plans I have for what I'm doing, and I'm going to share with you today on what I'm doing. Because just to give you a word picture of setting goals and the long game. This is the long game. I'm 61 years old. I don't know how long I'll own McAfee. I've owned it for 34 years. But I've already invested in a new venture, and I'll put it up here. It's called Platinum RV Storage. It's for boats as well, but the name is Platinum for a very, very high standard, top of the line RV storage. I'll put some pictures up here. It's not quite built yet. We're hoping to have it done in August and start leasing it. It is extremely top of the line. It's for RVs that are worth 300,000 plus to a million plus. I mean, who knows? And it's for boats that cost a lot of money. It's for RVs and boats that you don't want to leave covered up in the driveway, okay? Or on a dusty, dirty gravel lot, okay? This is, I've got hundreds of thousands of square foot of concrete on this thing. There is no asphalt. There is no gravel. It's all concrete. Phase 1 you're seeing up there is 90 units. I have these sizes, 15 by 35 and 15 by 50. I have several of them are going to be climate controlled. They have a huge generator backup. For power, if the power goes out, you can still get in the gate and you can still open your garage door for your RV with some lighting. I also have, it's solar backed up. I got solar energy for the entire park. There's 3 phases to this, by the way. But there is a clubhouse with office space for me. And there is... we will have, there are restrooms open to the people who, the tenants, basically. Extremely high-end restrooms, just like you would find in an extremely high-end golf country club. That's what this reminds me of. It's very, very high-end. It's fully insulated, ceiling, walls, everything's insulated. It probably doesn't need climate control, but it's there. And we have hundreds of cameras, so you can look in your unit at any time to check on your multi-$100,000 RV, and you can also see the park. You can see outside of it. Probably a few things I'm missing. I just spent $12,000 on a $1,000 our propane tank that's being buried for that generator. And it is extremely nice. It's going to be soon, Lord willing, it will be the largest RV storage facility indoor in Ohio and multiple states around us. Second phase puts about another 250 units in the park, and third phase will end up with about 550 units completely enclosed with about a 3-mile round track inside of it, which I get to walk on a daily basis. So that is my goal. That's the long game. I'm 61 years old and I'm still thinking long game. And what this does, it's not instant gratification. It's not to see how much money I make. It's for future generations to come. We have plans laid out for this thing that it's like the Rockefeller Bank. It will take care of future generations. They can borrow from these funds for college. They can borrow from these funds to start a business. It is very, very, I got the idea from Rockefeller. John D., his son, Junior, I got the idea from them. They started the Rockefeller Bank. It's multiple generations now, longest ever, strongest ever family bank to ever exist, because they didn't give their money away to their kids and spoil them rotten. Kids had to borrow, kids had to earn, kids had to manage. And it worked out extremely well, and that's what I want for this. This is a huge goal. This is a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. And I love it. And I'm 61 years old. And McAfee's still going strong, growing the last 9 months, above average to record-breaking months for the last 9 months. We're blowing it out of the water, and I love it. And but it's the long game, folks. I've been playing the long game for years. We don't play the short game. We play the long game. The long game matters. The long game, the earnings are higher. I told you, I know what this thing is worth now. I know what McAfee's worth now. It's the long game. Had I given up earlier, it would have been worth a very small percentage of what it's worth today. All right. So, number one, how to improve your ability for delayed gratification is set clear long-term goals. Number two, create smaller milestones. Break down your long-term goals into smaller, manageable milestones. Don't make your goals so big that you can't manage them or hit them. Celebrating small wins along the way will provide motivation. It will help you get past the instant gratification syndrome, and it just improves your outcome along the way. But folks, let me tell you something. You must have drive. Motivation is important, but you must have the drive. Motivation is temporary. You can listen to my podcast or someone else's podcast, and you can get motivated for a day, maybe two tops. But when you have drive, it's permanent. You'll create a sense of progress, making it easier to continue to delay gratification. And that's the goal. Number three, I just want to ask you this. How bad do you want success? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want success for your family? How bad? Most people don't think about the next generation because they're too worried and thinking about themselves. That's the problem. It's all about me. I'm personally thinking about not just the next generation, but the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Because I'm establishing a legacy that goes on and on and on as long as it can go on. As long as my generations will continue it to go on, it will go on. It will become stronger and bigger. And personally, I have a goal. I have a goal of what my net worth will be with all these things in that circle. And I want a net worth that puts me in the 1 percentile of America. Net worth. 1 percentile. I love that 1 percentile. It's a goal. Right now, I might be in the top 5. Might be. I want to be in the top 1. I want to be in the 1 per se. There's going to be a lot of people worth a lot more than me, but they're in the top 1. Okay? So it's just a goal. If you don't have these things, how can you play the long game goal? How can you have strategies for lasting success? Get off of today. Get off of worrying about today and what's in it for me, and think about tomorrow and the next day and the next year and the next decade, century, who knows? All right. So, you may have heard this before, but Eric Thomas, and I'm going to play about a minute and a half of his video here. When you want to succeed as bad as you want breath, then you'll be successful. When you want to succeed as bad as you want air, you'll be successful. Let's watch this.
There was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. When he walks out to the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? I said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool.
Okay, that's powerful. That's powerful. And the long-term game matters. When you want to breathe, as bad as you want success, as bad as you want the long game to win, you'll be successful. So before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening. I'll do my best to keep challenging you. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Thanks for listening. I hope this helped you as much as it helped me today. God bless. Carry on. Make it a great day. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so make this day the best day of your life. See you later.